All right, before we get too into the weeds here, Sean.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Banya. We've got Dana Lundquist and our most frequented guest here, Sean Babin.
Am I really? Most frequented guest? All right.
You're the only person who's done it twice as a guest.
That's true. Okay, cool.
We don't count
Welcome-
RB.
welcome
He's had
back.
some
Oh, yeah.
technical difficulties.
I guess RB,
That's true. Yeah, I stole the first episode from him.
RB's on like episode 5, but just he co-potted with me the one, so that's not a guest spot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I sat in a corner at one time too. So
he was just
that
sitting
was
here
a good
asking
one.
heavy hitting questions. So Sean, a lot since you've been on has changed though the first time. So excited to jump into some of those things. We'll start with your career and then we'll end with jiu-jitsu.
All right.
Okay, because jiu-jitsu is more fun.
Sounds good.
No, very exciting. So you moved from working for Edward Jones, launched your own company, Babin's Wealth Management.
Yeah, a lot of thermometers brought to you by Blabbin Wealth Management.
Yep.
Sorry, they all suck.
My thermometer guy, as you're known around the sauna.
Yeah, so career finance guy, straight out of college, worked for independent financial advisors and just kind of had a passion for like the whole finance thing. How does money work? How do you get money to work for you? I think, did you guys ever play the government class in high school, like the fake stock market investing?
I did, and I killed it. And can I tell you why?
Please.
Vanguard Health Insurance.
Vanguard Health.
Yeah,
So it was your little brother and I. We were on a team, Matt, and we killed it off some like energy stock. And I just remember like thinking that was so cool that we were making money while
Eating
eating,
nothing.
sleeping, going to school, like basically leveraging your time.
You've based
leveraging
your whole
money.
life around this concept.
I have. I love it. I can if I can help people make more money while they do good at what they're at, that's a beautiful thing. That's the whole point of it. So worked at Edward Jones for 4.5 years and always really wanted to start my own place at some point. And in our industry, you kind of like, you get comfortable, you get a little nervous about going on your own, and finally just did the homework, did the research, and had some good support from home base. And she was just like, now's the time, you got to do it. And
your lady, shout out Megan.
Yeah, shout out Megan. Yeah, she was very supportive, and it's like, every year you don't do this is another year you're kind of behind it. So started my own place last September 2024, and it's been amazing.
Well, you did it right. I mean, you built up a network of people, right? You had like a lot of mentors and got to see how it unfolds, right? Before you obviously just launched into this.
Correct. Yeah, 2012 is when I first got into the finance industry and started building a client base right before COVID, so 2020. So I had 4.5 years of building a clientele, building out a business that really wasn't mine. That's what I struggled with the most, is when you work at a big firm like Edward Jones. You're a W-2 employee of that company. They're taking 60% of everything I make. And I just knew, I'm 35 years old. If I'm going to do this for 30 years, why would I do it for somebody else when, I feel pretty confident in my ability to, run my own company at some point. So, but yes, I was able to build a client base, build up a financially like stable backing for myself to launch a company and, still be able to feed the family and, pay our bills. So that was a huge, obviously the math going into that had to make sense.
And as a professional, you're 14 years into it now, right?
13.
13.
2012,
So
13 years.
So you're a black belt in finance.
Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, all right, I'll take that.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that.
Nobody wants to hear money advice from a 22-year-old,
Absolutely.
College, go hard.
And that's what I struggled with early on. I got offered to be a financial advisor at 23 and 24, and I was like, how the heck can I sit across the desk from somebody that has some serious money and comfortably tell them what to do when I've got $1,000 in my savings account and they have $4,000 in a 401k. And like, we can talk about that for a long time, where I, love trying to tell people like how to pick a financial advisor, and don't go to the kid who's 24 years old and be his, practice dummy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
anyways, there's experience that has to come with it.
I mean, yeah, that's probably not ideal for anybody, but I mean, there's enough people out there like myself that I don't pay any attention to that. Thankfully, my wife does, and I just do what I do, and she meets with you and does all that stuff. But it's like even as a 23-year-old, more about that stuff than I do now. So
Maybe we'll call it maybe. Yeah. At the beginning, it was like still trying to figure out how this works. What is what stocks are, but how do you put it all together to make a successful experience for your client? Mm-hmm. One, that I can sleep well at night, and two, they can sleep well at night. Because you could come in the door with 10 grand and we could put it all on,
black.
Yeah. NVIDIA or something, and just say like, all right, well, we're going to live or die by this. And early on, I thought that was kind of what people did. You were just supposed to pick, 5-10 stocks, and you call that investing. And that's absolutely not the case. And I think many people kind of get that wrong. So yes.
Well, it's the more exciting thing to do for sure, right? Like what you propose probably, right, is like get in some mutual funds. Like you're going to see some steady growth over time, and it's just you're going to be good for the most part. Versus like, oh man, I want to what's cool right now, like AI or something. Like let's throw a bunch of money at something that's like coming around the horn and might pay out big or might just completely go away.
Exactly. So we talk a lot about investing versus speculating and understanding the differences. And so investing isn't sexy. It's if I can get you 8 to 10% on average a year for during each decade, then you're doubling your money every decade. There's the rule of 72. So if you're getting 10% a year, you're doubling your money every 7 years. If you're getting 7% a year, you're doubling your money every 10 years. And so I tell clients our age that if I can double your money 3 to 4 times in your life while you're continuing to add to it, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
It's not sexy. You're not going to become a multi-millionaire overnight like we hear about all the time on social media and on the news. And you're not taking risks on throwing it all into Bitcoin or all into NVIDIA, but it's slow and steady, and it definitely can turn people into millionaires if done right.
Right. Yeah. Slow and steady.
How long did it take to get to the point where you felt comfortable? I liken it back to when I first started my job. Even for the first year, I was like just trying to go through the process of figuring things out. And at like 18 months, it kind of clicked for me. I was like, oh, I get this now. I feel like that's a good time frame, but I don't know. Like, what does that typically look like, or did it for you?
For me, it was almost probably 7-8 years, but it took working at different places. So you go, like the first person I worked for on the investment side, she just used one fund family, if you've ever heard of the name, excuse me, American funds. So she put everybody and all in American funds. And I was like, okay, maybe that's what you do. You just pick one fund company, put them all in. And then I was like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So then the next guy I went and worked for, a larger firm, he was like a hedge fund, like an algorithm trader. So every morning, the computer was telling us what to buy and sell. And, I was 22 years old. I was a trader. I thought I had the coolest job in the world, wore a suit and tie every day. He'd come in and be like, Sean, I need you to buy this and sell this across all these models. You've got an hour until the market closes. Can you do it? And I'd be like, oh yeah, like let's go. And I love that rush. But we were buying and selling things that I didn't really understand why. And, 1 week I'm buying something that I sold 2 weeks ago, and the performance was really bad that year and compared to like how the overall market did. So I was like, all right, they call that active management, where you're trying to use models or algorithms or formulas to try and outbeat the market for some
so
way
what
or
it
another.
so these does this company, does he like pay for like a subscription to some like brainiac think tank that's like
he was the brainiac, so he wrote the algorithm. So he had a software, very smart guy, extremely smart, but it just wasn't my thing. I was like, this isn't working. I saw that in practice, and I was like, this just doesn't seem. Wasn't my style.
Did it ever work, or just when you were there?
When I was there, it really wasn't working, and so I kind of wrote off what they call active management. And so then I finally found a place that had a philosophy that was rooted in like academics and data that made sense. It was like a light bulb moment for me. I was like, okay, this absolutely is conceptual. I can understand it and I can articulate it to somebody across the desk and they could understand it of here's why we invest the way we do. Here's why we don't. And I could never answer that question for myself until that job. And that was 2016. So yeah, it took about, what was that? 4 years. So not 8, but yeah, about 4 years until I was like, oh shit, like this is cool. This makes sense. I think I can do this for people because it conceptually, I enjoyed it. And like I said, it's all academics based and database versus somebody's best guess of the future. And I had to learn pretty quickly that nobody has any idea what financial markets are going to do. Even the smartest, most paid people that you see on television or the Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan, like they have no idea what the stock market or financial markets are going to do.
Yeah, if they did, I mean, it'd be a bunch of billionaires running around.
But they'll gladly get on TV whenever they can and tell you what they think's going to happen.
Sure.
And that's
gold.
That's the toughest thing when you're listening to the media and you don't have exactly the conviction that you should in what you're doing. You can get pushed in certain ways based on media pundits or like, oh my God, that guy's super smart. He's got to know like what's going on because I really don't. But you know, like the Jim Cramer mantra, like people just follow Jim Cramer and the guy's a buffoon. Like do you know the producer? You haven't heard the Cramer show? Anyways, the producer of a show is from Jerry Springer. And so he has a show on CNBC
so it's
where he talks
entertainment
about stock. Exactly.
Yeah.
But people follow him with their serious money that they've earned in real life dollars.
Yeah.
Does he still have a show?
He does. Yeah.
Really?
Yep. And you can pay an extra premium subscription to get insider info from him. So
he's not like protecting himself under like, you know, some of these people go like, this is for entertainment purposes. This isn't like actual financial advice. He doesn't like read that disclaimer super quick in the beginning.
He definitely does.
Oh, okay. But people still.
But he sells a platform.
Yeah.
Anyways, we could talk about that all day.
No, that's interesting. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what it took. It took about 4 years, 5 years to figure it out and work for a company that gave me the time and the ability to like learn and make it comfortable for myself. And once you find the conviction in something, I think that's when your clients can really feel that, and you can build a solid base and solid business off that model.
Yeah.
I do have, and I know you're not a fan of this style, but not to defend him or whatever, but the price of gold has done nothing but go up, right?
Yeah, that has in the last couple of years.
Just last couple of years.
I mean, it really
like,
has
look
in
at
the last
30
couple
years,
years,
though, right? Like if you would have put all your money on gold, like
you
30 years ago,
the stock market would absolutely kill you, crush that, in return wise.
Oh, you mean in a good, positive way?
Like if you're looking the last 30 years, if you had bought gold versus the last 30 years, you bought like the S&P 500 or the largest 500 companies in the U.S., the stocks would have absolutely destroyed gold.
Oh, okay.
So gold,
you'd have done a lot better off.
Yeah,
so S&P 500
because the price per unit is so high.
No, it's just there's more growth in stocks. Like gold is
it's the safest
stable
bet, basically. It's just not a high earning.
You just look at the numbers. So investing is all opportunity cost. So if gold averages 4% a year, like historically, and the stock market averages 10.5% a year historically, well, what do you want to put your money in?
Right.
And it's so that's the issue.
In years like 2008, gold that's where you're like in a better spot, right?
Yeah, so gold is definitely like a fleet of safety. When people are scared of the stock market or scared of the economy, of what's going on, people put their money in gold.
Yeah.
And so it has those moments for sure. And if you could time that and you could figure out when that was coming, then yeah. But over a long haul, we tell our clients gold is great for jewelry, but not for, the majority of clients' investment portfolios. There's just not a lot of juice to be squeezed there.
Unless you know something.
Yeah, unless you can time peaks and valleys, which...
World War III.
Yeah, no, pretty tough to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, that's I mean, good advice for sure.
Yeah, a little crash course there for you in the Banya. Love it.
Yeah. So you also launched your own podcast specifically about this stuff, which I've listened to. I think the first 3. How many have you done?
3. So yeah, you're all caught up.
So I'm all caught up. very interesting. I like how you kind of, dumb it down for us and, walk through some of it. Some of it's pretty technical, but overall, I know the right, what's your theme? I mean, you're trying to educate a little bit, right? Obviously.
Yeah, so it's called Millennial Money Moves Podcast, Spotify and Apple, if you're listening and want to check it out. And yeah, it's just trying to bring some education to our generation, like about finances. So yeah, like one episode we did talk about investing versus speculating. The last one we talked about your 401k, like how it works, what you should be doing, the investment options, just kind of things like that. The next one we're going to talk about, do you do Roth versus, pre-tax? Basically, do you want to pay taxes now or later? And just, I just want to bring that to the masses. Like I thought coming out of school with a finance degree, they made me memorize the most insane formulas, do the most crazy derivative calculations, but they didn't, for 1 minute, teach us how 401k works or the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA, like just basic real world understandings of finance. And so I think there's a huge gap for most people just on financial literacy. So yeah, that's kind of the goal. It's just bring some education. We'll get to a point where we're going to just do live financial planning, like in the episode, have somebody like yourself or Dana come on and just tell us about, where you're at financially. Yeah. No. And just, what your goals are, here's what I'm doing, what should I be doing, and just kind of hopefully the listeners can learn from people like that.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I just found out about it last week, so I'll listen to it now.
Yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. Feedback is super helpful.
Yep. It's just my opinion. Crazy, well produced out of the gates, dude.
Dude, I learned from you, man.
Yeah, well,
I learned a lot from you.
From our first 20 episodes. No, but yeah, dude, sounds great. It's nice.
Thanks.
Intro, everything. It's tight.
We got Krugel on the intro and the outro, just like for yours.
Yeah, our boy Sam Krugel,
like
musician.
I said, I learned a lot from you.
Nice.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, you said you've got like an office set up in your place where it's like used specifically for podcasting, right?
Yeah, the office I'm in has a recording studio. So
nice.
It's kind of sweet. That's got two, really legit mics and a mixer, and so we can go down there and bang out the episodes.
Sweet. Well,
yeah.
That's just office space you rent somewhere, or?
Yep, I'm in the Kierland Commons. I use a shared workspace called Industrious.
Okay.
And so they have like conference rooms. They've got phone booths, Zoom rooms. They got all kinds of cool stuff. And then they got a podcast.
We got to get Arun over there. It sounds like he's going crazy in his house.
Yeah.
Trying to work from his kitchen table.
Dude, come join.
He doesn't work too far away either. I might need to come over there and do a little working from somewhere else besides at home all the time. Yeah. That would be good for
That's
me.
exactly why I got it. I don't actually even have an office there, like an office space or a desk, I guess. They have a access membership. You just come and use the facilities. So you can use the conference rooms, use the lobby areas just to hang out and do your work. They do breakfast every morning.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
And they got like sodas and waters and coffee
on
hand all the time.
For breakfast here?
Today was bagels and cream cheese. They've done lox and bagels. They do like some scones in the mornings. What else? They did a waffle bar last week.
Call me when they turn on the egg griddle, dude.
I haven't seen an omelet bar yet. That would be next
all
level.
Just pastries.
But I'll let you know.
All right, well, let's get a little cold plunge, and then we'll come back in and talk about a little more about your beginning of jiu-jitsu.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Your jiu-jitsu journey.
I'd love to share. Can't wait.
This episode of the Banya is brought to you by Optimize. Optimize is a health and wellness center run by Jesse Meringue, a fellow training partner of ours. They've got amazing center. They've got your cold plunge, your sauna, the infrared, the hot tub, compression therapy, as well as this PEMF therapy. It's like pulse electromagnetic field. It's amazing. Feels crazy, like you get that electro stim. But the idea is you've got a time in there for an hour to switch between different therapies. You can go from the sauna to the cold plunge to the hot tub. Feels amazing. Luke and I just did that last week, and absolutely, it was incredible. So if you're looking to recover from any sort of athletics or just to feel better, go check out Optimize. And for anybody, the listeners, if you just tell them you heard it on the Banya, they'll give you 50% off your first session. So I believe normally it's $39 for the first session for an hour. So it'll be half that. So go check them out. It's an amazing place.
Did you paint the eaves there? Yeah.
Okay.
Do we need some steam?
Upgrade.
It was driving me crazy when I sealed the roof. I like that stuff got everywhere and it stained it, so it was kind of driving me crazy. I'm not crazy about the current color, but it's
looks
than
better.
It was.
Yeah,
for sure. And then the underside it just never finished.
This thermometer fucking sucks.
Yeah, dude.
I'll get let's get number 4 in here.
Yeah, number 4 on the way.
I'll just keep cruising down the Amazon list of sauna thermostats or thermometers.
Might need to send you to an actual like thermometer store. Do those exist?
We're not gonna get you one that you have to plug in.
Yeah, charge. Yeah, I can't be trusted with
no,
that.
you can't remember to do
You know
that.
how I roll, bro.
Yeah, I regretted that as soon as I unpacked it here. I was like, he's never gonna charge it.
I'm barely making it through life. I can't charge a thermometer.
Too many things to think about.
Dude. How much shit I have to charge every day?
Do we want a little steam?
Yeah, hit us.
You
Good idea.
hit the steam?
Great idea. Sean knows how it goes. Good work. Here it comes. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that'll do.
Oh yeah.
Ouch. Oh. Dear God.
Oh yeah.
Right through your nose. Ow, can't do it. It hurts.
Yeah, that burns. All right, Sean. Well, you've joined the Jiu-Jitsu tribe. How long? How?
A little over a month now, probably.
Okay.
6 weeks, 5-6 weeks.
How many classes would you say you've done?
Probably 6. 6 to 8.
6 to 8.
I'm doing like
okay.
2 a week is kind of where I'm at.
You took a one
and I
week
took 1
off
week
for your
a
golfing,
vacay.
yeah.
For my golfing.
You couldn't raise your arms above your head.
I needed to make sure I could swing the club that week, so yeah, I took jiu-jitsu off.
Nice. So, do you like jiu-jitsu more than golf? Are we there yet?
Completely different things.
Yeah.
Completely different. No.
Yeah, yeah, you could compartmentalize
There's
those,
like
I guess.
finesse in all of it, and there's completely different brains, different emotions, different effort.
Yeah.
But no, jiu-jitsu's been awesome. Like being your friend and hearing you talk nonstop about it for the last year, and then listening to the podcast, honestly, and hearing kind of what your other guests were talking about in regards to how jiu-jitsu's changed their lives, and it just really resonated with me in regards to wanting to push themselves, like needing some form of like maybe not even competition, but just like something hard, something to like power through. That you don't get anymore when you're in your 30s. Like you don't really have organized sport or competition. And so like having that in the morning, and I was like, I need that. I need to push myself a little differently than I'm doing. And then also everyone kept talking about the community, how amazing the people are, and they really, really are. And I, like we talked about, I started my own company. I work alone. I don't have an assistant. I don't have employees. I say hi to the people in my building at the front desk every morning and goodbye. But I was really missing like a community, people to talk to each day, and like having a support group, and it's definitely provided that. And everyone at Grey Wolf's been. Are we allowed to say Grey Wolf, or do we call it Ares?
We can call it that. Yeah, we can still call it
Grey
that.
Wolf so much.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The logo is so sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone welcomed me with like open arms. Obviously, being a buddy of yours, super helpful in regards to, everyone knows you and respects you, and they treated me exactly the same, and they're just like, they want me to succeed, and they want me to keep coming back every week. Every Tuesday or Wednesday when I walk back in,
it's fun, right?
Like, Sean, yes, you're back.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Glad you're back. Another week. More technique today. And I'm like, yes, like I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very welcoming. I mean, that's why everybody keeps coming back. It's amazing. And you get to the point where, enough people notice if you're not there, and they're like, hey, where you at?
Yeah.
Where you at?
Absolutely. No, and I like that's awesome.
It's a good little accountability.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I wanted to go more the first couple weeks, but like all I could do was 2. Like, I was so sore.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget after the first week, that Friday, I couldn't lift my hands above my head, like my shoulders. And so I was like, do I go this morning and just like sit there and watch? I was like, nah, I'll just sleep in. I've been doing the 6 a.m. classes. That's just like kind of how I am when it comes to working out or something. I have to do it in the morning because I'll make a million excuses not to go if I try the 5 or 6 o'clock at night classes.
Yeah.
I just learn better in the morning too. Like my mind is so much fresher. If I'm in there at 7 o'clock staring at technique, I'm a dummy.
Yeah, you're
sure.
thinking of like bed versus like the whole day ahead of you.
Yeah, you got a whole bunch of shit on your shoulders from the day, and this and that. It's just like clean slate when you wake up, rolling. You don't really have too much time to get into anything before you get over there, and it's just, for me, it's the best way to learn. Like, thinking back, I'm like, man, I wonder, like, when I was wrestling in college, like, I wonder if this would have been better, like,
interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Like, training earlier all the time. Like, we would do like cardio stuff that early, but not like technique and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just, this is something I found later in life that my brain fires better, first thing in the morning.
Me too. Like, there's a complete difference in like my focus through the day when I start with an exercise versus just waking up, taking a shower, and going to work.
Yeah.
I come home after jiu-jitsu like drenched in sweat, but just ready to take that day on. Yeah. Dana said this a million times on the pod, and I love it. It's like, when you start your day with jiu-jitsu, like, there's nothing harder coming to you that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if I have to call clients, angry clients, or if I need to do something I really don't want to do, like, going through a half hour of rolling and getting tapped out by almost everybody is like way harder than whatever I have to face on that phone call or that Zoom meeting, or makes crucial conversations a little easier.
Yeah.
Well, and like, things still suck when they suck, but they're less of a bother when like you have exerted yourself. Like, I took all of last week off. My toes kind of hurt, and just with work I couldn't make it in Monday or today, so that's a week and 2 days of nothing. And like, this literally been the most miserable week of my, not that it's been like horrendous, but like because bad or like shitty things always happen. It's just like, but I'm finding myself less happy in like this week and 2 days that I haven't stepped on the mat. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it really does do something in there to just like, curb a little bit of that tension that you have, when things aren't going your way. And it's been a couple weeks for me on the bad luck train.
Well, when you're not fighting to not get choked out or your arm broken, now it can actually break your arm, but it's still that's the feeling there. The volume on everything else gets turned down a little bit. Yeah. It's not nearly as difficult to deal with it once you're not fighting for your life, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, while you're there, for sure. I mean, everything's pretty much gone when you're there. It's just all good. But yeah, even like the hours after practice, it's just like it's a different day when you've trained already.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And I love the ramp up in practice where it's like, all right, the first 10 to 15 minutes we're just gonna stretch, especially being that early in the morning.
Yeah.
All right, we're just gonna kind of wake up. Then it's technique. So you're kind of using the brain, like, all right, I got to watch that, look for that, and then you go live, and like, then you're sweating, then your heart's going, and you leave there, and you're just like fired up for the day.
Yeah.
I didn't know how badly I needed to like attempt to manhandle somebody before jiu-jitsu. Like, it felt so good.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm like a lover. I've never been in a fight, never did any like combat anything. Golf and basketball were my sports, and so, like, that was an intimidating factor of actually coming to the gym and doing jiu-jitsu. It was like, okay, like, I'm going to be scrapping with people, and who the hell knows how this is going to go? And then, like, I did it, and yeah, I'm getting worked every single day there, taking my slice of humble pie, but I love it. And, like, those times when you do connect on, like, oh, I remember, like, okay, I'm in this spot now, I know what to do, or I need to move through this, or I need to posture up, or, I learned this last week here, I'll roll through it, and you get that, you're like, oh my god, like, that was awesome. It's kind of coming together, or like.
Yep. No, dude, those little micro victories they make it so much fun for sure.
That level up, and you start to feel yourself leveling up. Like you can actually feel it happening while it's happening. You're just like, oh, this is amazing, and I can make a sweep here or whatever it is. It's such a cool feeling.
Yeah, for me, it's like I got out of that. Great.
Yeah.
They didn't take my head off.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I want to hear from you on this too, because like I said, like you said, I've been chatting to you about jiu-jitsu nonstop for the last whatever since I started, but like, you know, like you said, you don't come from a background of any sort of combat sports, right? It's been golf, basketball, you know, that kind of stuff. And
big teddy bear over here.
Yeah, and so like, but so you probably had a lot of nerves associated with beginning it, just because of that, maybe, or where was your headspace in like the final, like, all right, I gotta fucking give this a shot, and then how did it go?
So the final, like, fuck it, I gotta give this a headshot was listening to your podcast on a walk. I was just like, I forget if it was Nando's episode.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about his son going through what he went through, and then Nando talking about needing competition, and like it just hit me, and I was like, I'm sick of just telling you like, yeah, one day, or yeah, maybe. Like I remember I called you. I just called you right away. It was like 2 PM, and I was just like, dude, when are you going in next? Like I'm ready to go. And I was nervous. Like I was like, do I just come and watch? And you were like, nope, don't. You're coming. And like,
yeah.
But you set it up so welcoming for me. Like RB was there, and he took that whole first practice to just like talk to me through stuff. Here's, you know, hands and knees and elbows kind of stuff, like basic things versus like I could see somebody just walking in there and having to do everything for the first time, not having a buddy, being pretty like overwhelmed by it.
Oh
and
yeah.
You go roll live and you're like, oh shit, like
Right.
what?
Yeah.
This is a problem.
Yeah. So that was after that I was ready to go the next day. I just needed, you just need that like welcoming into a brand new place where I realized right then and there these people aren't there to like kill me. They're just there to like make themselves better and hopefully make me better too.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is amazing. I want to do this every morning that I can.
Yeah.
I'm glad there's no judgment. You know, it's like, what do they say at Planet Fitness? It's like there are no judgment or a judgment-free zone, but who knows how that is. But it's the case when it comes to jiu-jitsu. Like nobody's judging you. You're judging yourself. That's all it really is. It's your journey.
Exactly.
For sure at our gym.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think I've been tapped out by almost everybody, and I don't care anymore. Like I just want to get better, and everybody after the tap out or after a cool move that they land on me, they're like, here's what you messed up, and here's kind of how I'd go about this next time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, dude, we've had high level black belts tell us like, dude, I take a month and just get in bad positions, get tapped out constantly, like get my ass beat, you know, like that. You can learn a lot and there will be a time when you're just going to be smashing on top of people. So this is actually a really valuable time for you to learn that side of the table of like all your guard stuff, right? Like not being hard to pass, like all that kind of stuff. Like it's going to make you a stronger jiu-jitsu athlete.
Yeah, I think that's the toughest when you do start rolling live. Being brand new is you don't know what to do. You just kind of curl up and you're like, okay, I'm here. You're on top of me, or I'm on top of you. Like, what do I do? And I don't know. I found myself in that position, just kind of like stuck. Like, oh, do I have you in a good position? Am I in a bad position? And, but I'm sure that's just the natural flow of it.
And I mean, dude, you're 6-8 classes in. Like, I mean, and I'm 2 years in, and like fundamental shit still gets shown to me for the first time.
Yeah,
a lot, and I'm like, oh shit, of course. And like, it's just you're gonna continue to break down those walls, and it's not going to stop for a long time, which is the fun part about it, right? If like we were already all good at it, or like it was just an easy thing to do, we wouldn't be this addicted to it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you see people land stuff on you that you're like, holy shit. Like last week Drew did something to me, like
with his legs
around my neck so fast. I'm tapped, and I just laughed. I was like, what was that, man?
Shot a triangle on you quick.
I was like, one day. But it's those moments where, you can't look at it as like, oh, like you're an idiot, you let that happen. Like,
dude,
you gotta have the energy of like,
Drew was right where you are, I'm sure, 2 years ago.
I want to learn that.
Yep.
Yeah,
and that's what keeps people coming back to, is when you say, instead of being pissed off you got beat, you're like, okay, how do I do that?
Yeah.
Like that little
You
bug
have
in
to
your head.
respect the person that you're across from, the work that they put in, how much further ahead they are than you, and just keep coming each week. That's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah.
My goal is to go from 2 classes a week to 3, just baby steps. And honestly, like I said, it's just because the conditioning. It's not because I can't wake up. I just like after 2 classes, like that third day, I'm just
Pretty
like,
soon you'll be hitting 5, and
Yeah.
then your lady's gonna be getting on your ass for doing too much jiu-jitsu.
Hey, dude, when you go at 6 in the morning and the girls are still asleep, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
That's
Perfect.
it, yeah.
You come home, they're still asleep. It's like you can do whatever you want. You can do it anytime.
I got a cold plunge again. Dude.
All right.
I'm dying.
Yeah, I mean, what was I gonna say? Lost my train of thought. But that's what it was. You know what? The difference between a white belt and a black belt is just the black belt just never stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's obviously a lot in between there, but if you just don't stop, you will progress. You know, and there's ways to shorten that, of course, by being intentional. So Jordan and I, we just decided to start writing in a journal, like post practice.
Oh, did you start doing it again?
Yeah, so whatever the move was, just writing down, and I can't really draw, so I don't want to draw anything, but I'll like step through, where does my hand go, where does my legs go, whereas every last little bit, and like step through that, writing it down. And if you do that on your laptop or just in a notebook itself, whatever, but putting that down in paper makes you think about it more. That whole process of thinking about it solidifies it in your brain a lot more, and you can go to sleep on that. Or I guess if it's early in the morning, you've got the rest of the day to let it kind of sink in. But what I would recommend for the 6 a.m. classes would be maybe that night sit down and write down what the move was for the day. Like remember what that was before bed, because then that's when your brain compartmentalizes everything, right, when you sleep. So everything else in the day, like if you have that on your mind, that's going to help solidify whatever the move was. Maybe you don't remember it the next morning.
You don't.
But
or I don't,
because you've written it down.
Writing it down, that's a tough thing.
Yeah,
no, that's awesome.
It definitely makes a big difference, and it seems like a silly little thing, but 15 minutes writing it down will improve your game drastically. And that's why I'm like, I've got to get back to that, because I don't feel like I've stagnated, but it's like the leaps of knowledge, they're a little shorter, they're smaller. So when it happens, it's great. Like you get a new move, but it doesn't feel as big. Like now you're going from 0 to any move is like a huge improvement, right?
Oh, I remember that.
So trying to maintain that growth.
Yeah, you're perfecting your craft. I'm thinking of, did you guys watch Free Solo? The guy who free climbed El Cap? So he had that journal too, and he wrote down every single step that he was going to take up the face of the mountain. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
I should
It's a mountain. Yeah, we're climbing a mountain right now. And you were at the base of the mountain. Like, what are the next steps?
Have you made it to a Vinny class yet?
No, I got to do that.
Monday, Friday.
Yeah.
The 5:30 start time. I don't know. I just got to sack up and just go.
Dude, it's fine. Yeah, it's a little bit harder, but
I love sleep.
Do it this Friday.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
I'll go. I'll go Friday.
Okay. All right, I'm jumping.
All right, let's cold plunge. Yeah.
Blue 69 or whatever the chemical is, it kills all the pond scum and. I lost a few brain cells early on, no doubt. But...
Oh yeah. There it is.
Yeah, well, Joel Salatin, dude, just taking a sip out of the cattle trough.
Yeah.
Immunity like a ox, dude.
All right. Well, we talked about your jiu-jitsu journey. Glad you're on it. Gotta keep going. I'm gonna bring it up, even though it's early. Ooh. It's early, but have you thought about competition at any point? And I'd say you're not ready yet, but if you're thinking about it,
yeah, I mean, definitely. I think that's what people talk about. I want to go to one. Like, I'm not saying no to it at all. I mean, I definitely want to be way more confident.
Totally.
But I can't wait to go watch you guys at some point and just see what it's like. And then, yeah, I think that's the whole point. We're doing it. Like, let's test this out at some point on some other people that aren't friendly rolling with you kind of in the gym.
Yeah. Well, I started in May, so it'll be 3 years, I think. And my first competition was October. So June, July, August, September, October. So 5 months. I mean, that was a little quick maybe, but that's a good number, 5 to 6 months in.
Okay.
So maybe target one for the,
back half of the year.
In the fall or end of the year. I mean, there's a competition next month that you can come watch. I don't know who all's going to be in it, but I think there should be a big showing from the gym. We were trying to get the zombie crew to sign up for it, so I don't know where that's at. I haven't talked to them, but you should come out and watch it at the very least. Absolutely. And just see. You get that feel when you're there, like watching your teammates compete, and you're like, oh, I roll with him, and he's doing this and that. Like you're like, oh, I kind of want to get out there.
That's exactly why I want to go. I just want to watch one, just like see the flow of it, how it works, how it goes. What does it look like live versus
right?
I mean, rolling in the gym when you're a white belt, like people will fuck you up, and then they'll teach you and roll and be kind of more friendly with you, and then seeing it go against somebody that you guys really don't know, and it's it's all out would be fascinating, and I want to. How does that kind of work? Does coach come and say like, hey, we've got a tournament next month, who wants to sign up? Like how do you stay in the know about those things?
Are you in any of the group chats yet?
No group chats.
I'm gonna add you to it.
Yeah, we'll get you in those. Usually like the most savages on our team, like the Lucases, although he's been chilling out with the baby on the way.
Well, he's hurt. Yeah, he's got a hurt shoulder.
His soldier's hurt.
Kristen,
Bino, they'll usually like go shout out and be like, let's all go do this one.
Okay.
They'll try to get everybody together. So, I'm bad at that too. Like I rely on other people to kind of sound the alarm, and then I'll go, oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just a brand new sport for me. I have no idea how.
But yeah, dude. Works. I wouldn't go to one and watch for sure. But yeah, don't let that occupy your thoughts yet. Just like focus on, because like Dana's talked about this before. Like if you signed up for a tournament, you'd be thinking about it a lot. You know what I mean? Even if it's 6 months away. So just like forget about that. Just learn.
Just think about learning.
Yeah. Some of the guys have talked about it. It sounds like you're preparing for a presentation or a public address. Yeah. Like the guys were like, I didn't sleep the night before. I just leading up to it, I was a wreck and like nervous right before, handshaking. So yeah, I'm sure the buildup is intense, and you want to make sure you're ready versus.
Yeah, just focus on learning for now, and as long as that's the mindset, which I mean that's all it can be for white belts when you first start, anyways. Then once you feel ready, then it's like, all right, well, the point of turning it up then is just it's more even cardio, just to continue fighting through it. So back to back to back, like 5-6 rounds in a row, not stopping, not taking a break, and being able to not tap from exhaustion. Yeah. So that's one of the big things. It's like. And it's great, like people like Vinny or other coaches, even other training partners will, and I know I say Vinny specifically because I remember him doing this to me. He still does it to me. But he'll try and get me to tap to pressure. And it's like, no, it's got to be, moving. Like the whole point of that is to fight through. Like, I'm not going to die. Like that feeling, which I'm sure you're still getting, like when you're getting smothered, like, holy shit, how do I get out of this? Somebody's got your neck or whatever. Being like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
If I need to tap when it's actually sunken in, I'm not getting out of it. That's the tap. But that's the competition prep is just you go hard because you're like, I got to get my cardio up and I've got to not settle in positions. And that's one of the big things too is it's like the point system, right? Which again, don't worry too much about it right now. But if somebody they pass your guard, you got 3 seconds before they get any points. So you can recover that, and you don't have to.
That last week, I was like 3 seconds.
Yeah,
I think Mateus shouted it out at somebody who was rolling, and I was like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense." Because like I had a match where like, dude, I thought I was up like 15-0 on this guy. Like I was just moving all around him and stuff, and then I looked at the scoreboard and it was like 2-0. I was like,
you were letting him back in every time.
Dude, I wasn't. I guess I wasn't like.
You gotta settle.
Yeah, you have to like hold the knee on belly for like 3. And like there's weird things too. Like north-south isn't like a guard pass.
It is actually. You get 3 points for it. I just asked Mateus last night because I wasn't certain about it.
Well, there we go.
But you got to stay there. You got to stay there long enough.
Stay long enough. Okay, so because like I was all around this guy like 360s. Like I was throwing my knee on his belly, then I'd go to north-south. Like I was just kind of moving all over, and like the points just when I looked up, they just weren't there. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? That's right.
All right. So what I will tell you is when I can go from like when we do technique, coach is showing us the move, and then we go do it on our own. When I can actually remember what the hell that was and like replicate it, then I know my brain's working better and I'm in the right spot. Right now, It's like it's always so funny because you'll watch them do it, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's super easy," and then you go back with your partner and you're like, wait, where do I put my hand? Like, what leg am I going for here?
That never really goes
Okay.
away.
Well, especially with Mateus, because he can make like the most complex move.
It looks so simple.
easy.
It's just move your butt here, get over his leg, twist it,
Bring
So
your toe around, tickle him in the back.
fish out or hips
No
out.
problem.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's simple. And then we go, and I'm like,
Yeah, my body doesn't.
Don't
move like
remember
this
that,
yet.
yeah.
Well, dude, there's simple things. Like I couldn't triangle people at the beginning because like my hips just weren't
yeah,
open enough. It's a weird thing, and like now, like I'm loving triangles. Like I'm just like something just changed with like the mobility of my hips, and I can get to those positions now.
that'll be a
So,
fun like mark because I'm very not flexible.
Yeah. So it's gonna be like a combination of like obviously drilling and remembering the moves, but then also over time your body's going to develop into you know, to do these positions or these moves. You know.
and supplementing that with stretching, like especially if you go to 6 a.m. at nighttime, stretching is huge. Like
Yeah.
I just have a mat that I keep in the living room if I'm watching TV to unwind after dinner. I'll just stretch. And it was like a good year and a half before my hips were not constantly like tight. And it took stretching and then just getting that flexibility there. So I was like you. Like I mean I think we were very similar in that I didn't have any combat
Dana,
experience.
Dana.
Yeah.
By the way, my children can't, or just until recently, couldn't tell Sean and Dana apart.
Yeah.
Oh, I got Uncle Dana. You got Chano. Like, yeah, Uncle Alex probably still pops in there every now and then.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it just takes repetition. And one last piece of unsolicited advice would be think of concepts in terms of like you mentioned before, like elbows to knee connection. Where is your opponent's post? Where is it gonna be if you push them a certain direction or pull them a certain direction? What are they gonna use for a post? Is it gonna be their left arm, their right arm, their left leg? And thinking about that when it comes to like sweeping or just off balancing your opponent, if you know where their post is going to be, you know where they're most vulnerable when it comes to that, you can take that away or kind of predict what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
But yeah, thinking concepts.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, no, it's awesomely difficult and humbling every day I leave there, but good group of people. And yeah, just a crazy cool mountain to try and climb and just progress each month at it.
Hell yeah.
It's the best.
Thanks
All
for
right,
having me
brother.
back
Well,
in,
thanks
dude.
for coming back on.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'll
Sean,
ship a
brother,
different
love you.
thermometer over to you
Yeah, let's
ASAP.
get that
Yeah,
going.
let's get a good one in here.
Trash talking you. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Have a good night, and we'll see you at Jiu-Jitsu tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.